কোনো পরিষ্কার গ্যারান্টি, এবং আমরা পরিষ্কার জিজ্ঞেস করেছিলাম ইলেকশন কমিশন যখন ডেকেছে, তারা বলেছে আমরা আসলে নিজেরা এখনো সব টেস্টিং করতে পারি নাই, আমরা শিওর না। আপনি 15 লক্ষের উপরে ভোট দেবেন, প্রসেসটাতে আপনি শিওর না, তাহলে কিভাবে আপনি এটা পরিচালনা করবেন? এত মাস তাহলে আপনারা করছিলেনটা কি? একই সাথে এই যে এইগুলোর সাথে অনলাইন ভায়োলেন্স শুরু করেছে আমাদের প্রতিপক্ষ, এবং আমি প্রতিপক্ষ বলতে মিন করছি বাংলাদেশ জামাতে ইসলামের নেতৃত্বে যে জোটটা আছে, তারা অনলাইন ভায়োলেন্স শুরু করেছে। আমি ঢাকা 13 ক্যান্ডিডেট, আমার পুরো পরিবারের বিরুদ্ধে একদম তারা মানে আপনার কি বললাম খুবই অর্গানাইজড ভাবে তারা আক্রমণ শুরু করেছে, এবং এই আক্রমণগুলো মানে অকথ্য ভাষায় আক্রমণ, এমন আক্রমণ যেটা পরিষ্কার ইন ভায়োলেশন ইলেকশন কমিশনের সকল রুলস এর ভায়োলেশন, এবং একই সাথে তারা রাস্তার ভায়োলেন্সের জন্য প্রিপারেশন নিচ্ছে। তারা বারবার, আপনি যদি বক্তব্যগুলো শুনেন, শুধু আমার এলাকায় না, বৃহত্তর বাংলাদেশ 300 সিটের ভিতরে অ্যাটলিস্ট 200 সিটের জামাত জোটের ক্যান্ডিডেটদের যদি বক্তব্য শুনেন, তারা চোখ উপড়ে ফেলবে, তারা আগুন জ্বালিয়ে দেবে, এগুলো হলো তাদের ভাষা। এগুলো নিয়ে আমরা আগামী রাজনীতিতে যাচ্ছি, আগামীর নির্বাচনে যাচ্ছি। আমরা পরিষ্কারভাবে সঠিক স্পষ্ট নির্বাচন চাই, কিন্তু আমাদের প্রতিপক্ষ কি ধরনের নির্বাচন চায় সেটা প্রশ্নবিদ্ধ। Honorable dignitaries, everybody here, and to Dhaka Forum, thank you all for arranging this, and honorable dignitaries, my salam and regards. We're talking about the upcoming election today. I apologize for starting my speech in Bengali. That was for the media. And the Election Commission, as I was saying in Bengali, we don't have as much faith in the Election Commission as we are meant to going into an election. This is going to be a landmark election in the history of Bangladesh. We've been bereft of our voting rights and electoral rights for almost 2 decades. So going into that, we had a lot of expectations. Unfortunately, at this point where we stand, many of our expectations are not being met. This, for lack of a better word, is one of the weakest election commissions. Might not be the most corrupt, might not be the most politically biased, but it is by far one of the weakest election commissions in its ability to perform its mandated duties that we've ever seen. It has not been able to correct and officially inform us of the procedures of the postal ballot, an issue that was raised at this table today, and that's 1.5 million plus votes, which is an important concern. Another concern is there is an ongoing NID fraud, and this I'm telling you with confidence. This is happening in Dhaka 13, the constituency where I am competing, and in many other constituencies. This is especially happening with the poorer classes, the underprivileged classes. What the Jamaat Islami coalition members are doing and their activists are doing is going to slum areas and especially collecting NID cards, especially the old, laminated NID cards. So we have, once you go to get your NID card, you initially get a laminated one, which is not very secure, and then you get the secure one, which takes many months. And a lot of people registered for their NID in the last 12, 16 months to vote for this new election, and so on and so forth. So a lot of their cards are the laminated NID cards, which are not very secure. And there's a concerted effort to collect these NID cards from slums all over Dhaka city. I know about Dhaka city. I've heard about the rest of the country as well. This is happening in many places. And so they're collecting these NID cards, especially of women NID cards. There is a fear that on polling day, a lot of their activists might go in and try to cast the votes in, with those NID cards. So that's something the Election Commission has to be very, very cautious of. There are things that, as a political party, we can't be cautious of. We can't have our polling agents check underneath burqas. We can't do that. We can't have our polling agents, our polling agents won't have the ability to verify NID cards. That lies with the Election Commission. So these are really, really big concerns. And there's a big online propaganda war going right now. I wouldn't say it's a war, because a war needs 2 sides. So there's a big propaganda attack going on from the Jamaat Islami and their activist side. And this is happening overall in almost every electoral area, but especially all the women candidates. Especially the BNP coalition, female candidates. Dhaka 14 is a case in point. Faridpur, there are quite a few others. And in every constituency, huge online attacks by Jamaat activists, especially on the female candidates. So that's something to be concerned about. there's a lot of sort of falsehoods being spread, misinformation being spread, and we have searched, and this is all coming from Jamaat supported camps, pages, and so on and so forth. This is something the Election Commission needs to be cautious of as well. So as I said, we need to be concerned with the effectiveness of the Election Commission. We don't have a long span of time going into the elections. We've got 7, 8. Today's the 4th, isn't it? This is 3rd. Yeah. So we've got 8 or 9 days to go into election. That's not a lot of time at all. If they're not prepared now, how are they going to be prepared on the day? We have faith in law and order so far, but what is going to happen in the polling stations? The Election Commission has announced that this time they might take 2 to 3 days to announce results, which is preposterous. It makes no sense. We've seen elections time and again. We've seen elections for 54 years. We've seen elections when there was no technology. When, the ballot count had to, even if through the telephone or whatever paperwork, it took 24, 48 hours to come to Dhaka. Now, in today's day and age, we should be able to announce election results within 6 to 12 hours of ending of polling. Election Commission is saying they might need 48 to 72 hours, which is laughable, to say the least. So there are many, many questions that are to be raised. We hope, especially honorable dignitaries, civil society representatives here, we hope all of you will raise these questions with us so that going into the election, we can, because we do want a free and fair election. We have waited 2 decades to have an election to express our voting rights. Every voting, citizen of this country. So this is very important for us, and we need everybody on board to ensure that this we are set on the right path, so that this path doesn't go awry. It is everybody's responsibility. I think I'll finish my speech with this. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very, very much. On a lighter note, whenever election comes, one thing which is very common amongst politicians is that they all have broken voices. That's relevant across all political parties as we can see. Moving on, I would love to request today, and with this we'll probably end with a small summary note. We would request Mr. Ami Khosrow Mahmood Chaudhary, member of the Standing Committee PMP, to share his final remarks, accommodating all the essence of the talks that has been taking place today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I've been asked by the journalists to say a few words in Bengali because they have, I guess, to serve their constituency as well, like we all do, So, আমি বলছি বেশি কিছু বলবো না কারণ আসলে এই সেমিনার থেকে আমি খুব বেশি কিছু I don't want to cross the red line. সেটা হচ্ছে আমরা অনেকদিন পর একটা নির্বাচনের দিকে যাচ্ছি এবং বাংলাদেশের মানুষের যে ভোটের অধিকার থেকে বঞ্চিত হওয়ার দীর্ঘদিন পর একটা বিরাট প্রত্যাশা জেগেছে, আশা জেগেছে তাদের নির্বাচিত প্রতিনিধি হবে, সংসদ হবে, সরকার হবে যারা তাদের কাছে দায়বদ্ধ থাকবে, জবাব দিয়ে থাকবে। এটা হচ্ছে বড় এক্সপেকটেশন। একবার যখন একটি সরকার জনগণের কাছে দায়বদ্ধ থাকবে, জবাব দিয়ে থাকবে, অনেকগুলো যে রাজনৈতিক, গণতান্ত্রিক, সাংবিধানিক অধিকার, সিভিক রাইটস সবকিছু ক্লেম করার একটা প্রসেস সৃষ্টি হয়। তো সেই প্রত্যাশায় জনগণ আছে এবং আমি আশা করি এই নির্বাচনের মাধ্যমে সেটা তারা পেতে সম্ভব হবে। তবে নির্বাচনী কার্যক্রম চলাকালীন সময়ে কিছু বিষয় দুঃখজনকভাবে আমাদের সামনে চলে আসছে। সেগুলো হচ্ছে যেটা একটু আগে আমাদের একজন প্রার্থী বললেন যে চরিত্র হননের বিষয় চলে আসছে, তারপরে তথ্য সন্ত্রাস চলে আসছে, অনেক ধরনের বক্তব্য যেটা সাংঘর্ষিক একটি অবস্থার সৃষ্টি করে, যেমন হাত ভেঙে ফেলবো, পা ভেঙে ফেলবো, চোখ উপটে ফেলবো, তারপরে একটা থ্রেটের একটা বিষয় চলে আসে আর কি, যেটা খুবই দুঃখজনক। যেটা থেকে আমরা বের হওয়ার জন্য দীর্ঘ 15 বছর লড়াই করলাম, দেশে একটি স্থিতিশীল অবস্থার জন্য, একটা সহনশীল অবস্থার জন্য, পরস্পরের আরেকজনের প্রতি সম্মান জানানোর জন্য দ্বিমত পোষণ করেও সম্মান তো জানাতে পারি। এটার জন্য লড়াই করলাম এত বছর, কিন্তু আমরা দেখলাম একটি গোষ্ঠী সেই সম্মানটা তারা রাখতে চাচ্ছে না। তারা কেন জানি ওই মাইন্ডসেটের মধ্যে রয়ে গেছে। তো আমি মনে করছি তাদেরকে সেখান থেকে বেরিয়ে আসা উচিত। আরেকটা বিষয় যেটা আছে ম্যানিপুলেশনের বিষয়, যে এনআইডি কার্ডের কথা বলা হয়েছে, টেলিফোন নাম্বার বিকাশের মাধ্যমে পেমেন্টের কথাও আসছে, তারপরে বেহেশতের টিকিট বিক্রির কথাও আসছে। তো এগুলো তো দুঃখজনক বিষয়, কারণ আসলে নির্বাচনী প্রক্রিয়াতে এগুলো না বলে আমরা আগামীর বাংলাদেশে কি করতে চাই এই কথাগুলো বলতে ভালো হবে। ওই সালাউদ্দিন কাসিম সাহেব যেটা বলছিলেন, নতুন প্রজন্মের যে প্রত্যাশাটা কি, আমরা বলি সেই জায়গাটাই যদি রাজনীতিবিদরা কনসেন্ট্রেট করি, তাদের প্রত্যাশা পূরণ করার কথা বলি, তাহলেই বোধহয় আগামীর বাংলাদেশ, যেটা আকাঙ্ক্ষিত বাংলাদেশ, প্রত্যাশিত বাংলাদেশ, আমরা সেই জায়গায় পৌঁছতে পারবো। তা আমি সকল পক্ষকে অনুরোধ করব যে আমাদের একটু সংযত, সহনশীল, সম্মানজনক রাজনৈতিক পরিবেশ সংস্কৃতি সৃষ্টি করা অত্যন্ত প্রয়োজন বাংলাদেশে। আমাদের পক্ষ থেকে কিন্তু আমরা চেষ্টা করে যাচ্ছি, অনেক কিছু দেখে শুনেও বুঝেও আমরা কিন্তু একেবারে সংযমের সাথে রেসপন্ডও করছি না অনেক জায়গায়, যাতে করে অন্তত দেশে একটা স্থিতিশীল অবস্থা থাক, একটা শান্তিপূর্ণ অবস্থা থাক, যেটা মাধ্যমে আগামী বাংলাদেশের আমরা পরিবর্তন করতে পারবো। ধন্যবাদ। So I'll come back to the audience. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me. Very difficult to make time. I had to travel from Chittagong, you know, and during the election time, this bit of time is also important. You know, your leadership and your constituents, your workers, the demand for time is so big. To carve out any time out of that is almost impossible. But I thought this is also important. I came here particularly to warmly welcome our guests who have made time, carved up your time to come to Bangladesh to watch over the election. So thank you all very much. Very warm welcome to Bangladesh for taking out your time to come to Bangladesh and oversee Bangladesh electoral process, number one. Number two is democracy is so dear to a lot of our people's heart. In Bangladeshis, at heart, Bangladeshis are Democrats. They like to live in an open society, a society where they can exercise their civic rights, you know. So globally, unfortunately, there's a backsliding of democracy. There's a serious backsliding of democracy globally at a time when Bangladesh is facing an election. And all of you who have come as a Democrat, love for democracy, and to establish a democratic order in Bangladesh, we appreciate your contribution, because still we feel there are Democrats around the world who can come together and save work as a defender for democracy globally, not just Bangladesh. So, friends who are defender of democracy, who believe in democracy, we can still be together and work for democracy, not for Bangladesh, but for the globally. So Bangladesh electoral process, we have not seen, I mean, we have been disenfranchised for so long, quite honestly, for last 17, 18 years. So I think we have, a lot of us, our voters are out of touch with the voting process, with the electoral process. So this is something has come back after a long time. Let us make the most of it. And let us all work together to make this election function, acceptable to everybody as much as possible. No election is out of controversy. Let me make it clear. I know a lot of speakers raised a lot of issues, but quite honestly, no election can be held without any controversy. There will be controversies, but as long as at the end of the day, it is an outcome that we can accept. That is good enough. And after all, this election is so important to be held in time with the participation of Bangladeshi citizens, because this will set the democratic order back in Bangladesh all over again after such a long time. So we cannot afford to go in a wrong way. We have to make sure that we all participate in a way that to this election to be held with the participation and acceptance of this, not just the citizens, but the global democratic people who have the love for democracy. So, you see, I think the tolerance is another issue that we have to bear in mind. There are a lot of, as I said, the character assassination is going on, misinformation is going on, disinformation is going on. You are confronted with this almost day in, day out. A lot of these things are quite manipulative, which are not acceptable in an electoral process. But as a party from BNP, I can tell you, we are taking a lot of these things lying down. We are taking it lying down, deliberately, for this election to be held in time with the participation. Because this election is so important for the country. I expect other parties to really be respectful in their utterances, in their activities, in their electoral campaign, so that we can hold this election. Let us hold this election. Let us set the democratic order back in the country. And then we can improve the democratic process in the country as we go along. It is not going to be perfect. This election is not going to be perfect. Democratic order in Bangladesh is not going to be perfect for some time to come. We have to allow the time. Because election is a correction process. Election is a filtration process. Let this process continue. As long as we allow this process to continue, we have election in time. So there will be correction, there will be filtration, there will be changes. And that time should be allowed. We should have that patience. We should have that respect for each other, so that I think the process is continued. So I think I don't have much to say. I am just keen to see this election is over with a good outcome, with a reasonable outcome, not going to be perfect, with a reasonable outcome, but through this election, let us set the democratic order in the country. Let the democracy proceed. Let the democracy move. And you can correct as you go along. And once again, I warmly welcome our the friends from the democracies around the world. And we have to work together, globally, domestically. Let us all work together, let the democracies function, because democracy is in danger. We are facing a lot of problems with democracies around the world. So let us all stick together, let the democracy function, and let the citizens' civic rights be there for everybody. And that is the only way an elected government, elected parliament, which will be accountable to the citizens. That's the only order we know about. There is no other order in the world. So thank you very much. I think I'll end with this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will just try to wrap up in 2 minutes, please, if you can give some time. I probably will not be able to do justice, making a summary of the enlightened aspects that you all have.